It is anti-white racism that was in the fiber of our laws that is now getting away thanks to President Donald Trump, where if you were a white man, especially to apply for internships, jobs, going to college, that it was significantly harder to get those jobs, to get into those practices, because there were quotas that made it easier for people of other skin colors with lower standards to be able to get those positions. We agree there's only so many slots in a college. Right? There's only so many positions in an internship. It's a limited supply.
I completely agree.
It is scarcity. So when you have a scarce resource, you have to decide how you're going to divvy up that scarce resource.
For sure.
In a DEI model, they're going to say, okay, we're not going to do any more than 30% white, and then we'll do 15%. And so you kind of come up with these quotas. Therefore, they end up saying, well, what happens if the 15% black is not qualified? They don't care, which ends up happening far too often. Or what happens if the
Can you give me examples of cases?
Yeah, air traffic control is actually a really good example. We now have all the documents that show that we went on a hiring spree to have more black air traffic controllers. There's a huge lawsuit about this, 15, 16, 17, where the standards for air traffic control have dropped so dramatically, and you're kind of seeing some of the effects of that, potentially. And again, it's in almost every single corporate practice, every single college institution. But it just kind of comes down to more of a moral argument that I have, which is that if you have something based on merit, I don't care if it's all black, all Asian, all white. It's an excellent group is what I want, not a diverse group. I care about excellence, not diversity. Because I do not believe diversity is a strength. I believe unity is a strength. I believe the pursuit of higher purposes is a strength. Does that make sense?
Let's see what Thomas has to say.
Do you believe that mandatory proportional representation benefits minorities?
No. In fact, I think one of the great handicaps that blacks and other minorities face across the country is that they are systematically mismatched with universities in the admissions process. That is, if Harvard feels that it must have X% of blacks, and if the pool is such that they can't get X% of blacks at the same level as the rest of the Harvard students, they're going to take those blacks who would have succeeded in some state university and bring them to Harvard, where many of them will fail. Or MIT is a better example, that the average black student at MIT is in the bottom 10% of MIT students in math. But he is in the top 90% of all American students in math, because MIT students are so phenomenal in mathematics. Something like 1/4 of all the black students going to MIT do not graduate. We're talking about a pool of people who score at the 90th percentile in math, whom you are artificially turning into failures by mismatching them with the school.
So, are you mad about what Charlie said, or are you mad it was Charlie saying it?
They're mad it was Charlie saying it. And now is a bunch of people on social media who are mad that that it's being said, period, by Thomas Sowell. They're trying to kick. I did a video not too long ago, just last week actually, where a young lady was saying that someone published on social media, on X to be specific, saying if you see any videos or anybody trying to share information for Thomas Sowell, and it's a black dude that's addressing black people who are most Democrats anyway, saying if you see anyone trying to share videos or information from Thomas Sowell, then you need to delete it, turn it away, or tell them to stop trying to push that nonsense, because Thomas Sowell is the enemy. So if you are the person that's trying to bring in some type of self-awareness and self-responsibility and self-accountability, then you are the problem, whether it's Charlie Kirk saying it or Thomas Sowell. The thing is, Charlie Kirk was much louder. Charlie Kirk was going to where the young people was. Charlie Kirk became bigger than life. They pretty much shut Thomas Sowell out, and not realizing that he's one of the living historians that they should listen to, because he don't have a dog in the fight. He's not running around with a MAGA hat on. He's not trying to get somebody elected. This dude is just a lifelong historian. And his story is absolutely amazing. They will benefit a ton from it. I was just introduced to him, but I'm 47 years old. I didn't hear about Thomas Sowell until 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Now, I could have gone out there and done my own due diligence and found out who other historians were that were not just on my side of things, because I've been a Democrat all my life. And the only time I ever voted conservative was in the last presidential election. But Thomas Sowell, man, when I ran across him, holy moly, holy crap. I ran across him through listening to people like Candace Owens and Larry Elder and those types of people. Michael, is it Michael Steele? I don't know if it's Michael. I don't think it's Michael Steele. It's someone else. I don't know the name right now. It's escaping me. But the same people who don't like Charlie Kirk, when they find out about Thomas Sowell, they immediately don't like Thomas Sowell. So when I actually went to go get my wife's car service, and I had on a Thomas Sowell t-shirt, and a young black brother came up to me, and he was quiet about it. He was like, man, he the truth, ain't he? I was like, yeah. It was like a secret society type of thing. Like, we can talk about him, but we got to whisper about him. Hold up, here's another example as well, because context does matter. And this young lady by the name of Brianna Riddick, you can find her on Black Card Declined on Instagram. She is popping. Check this out right here.
Unarmed black people, on average, are killed by police a year.
Well, I'd have to look up that statistic.
Guess.
Probably over 50%.
Yeah, it's 15 people a year. 15. And that's not my number. That's the Washington Post that came up with it and did a national crime survey. And they even were generous, and they said unarmed, meaning you had a weapon nearby or you had a knife that you dropped. So you're talking about police brutality for an incident that happens 15 times a year in a country of 350 million people.
Well, how come, my question to you then, how come you see it so often on social media?
Because that's a good question, Andrew, because you're being propagandized. You're being brainwashed is the name of this tour. And I'm here to tell you that you see it, so you actually don't see it as often as you think. This is emotional targeted videoing to have you think that something exists when it doesn't. We look at the data like, oh, it's 15 times a year. 15 times a year, and it's even lower than that. But do you know what does happen a lot every single year? Is that there's over 100,000 drug overdoses every single year. We don't talk about that. We should. We should. I totally agree, right? But we have this whole thing about police brutality, and no one can ever give me examples where there's too many police, and that's okay. I'm not just picking on you. Just in general, it's easy to get caught up in the abstractions. It's easy to get caught up in the parade and in all the bedlam. But when you dive into it, you realize that it's all brainwashing and it's propaganda.
Maybe you'll like what Larry has to say.
Most blatant racist example you can come up with right now.
I think you could probably find evidence that, in general, cops are more willing to shoot if the perpetrator is black.
What's your data
than white?
What's your basis for saying that? 65 people were shot by cops last year and killed. 4% of them were white cops shooting unarmed blacks. In Chicago in 2011, 21 people were shot and killed by cops. In 2015, there were 7. In Chicago, which is a third black, a third white, and a third Hispanic, 70% of the homicides are black on black. About 40 per month, almost 500 per year last year in Chicago, and 75% of them are unsolved. Where is the Black Lives Matter on that? The idea that a racist white cop shooting unarmed black people is a peril to black people is BS. Media, CNN, especially MSNBC, runs down whenever a black cop shoots somebody,
So, are you mad at what Charlie said? Or are you mad that it was Charlie saying it?
They're mad that Charlie is saying it. But now they're going to be mad that Larry Elder also says it, because he's a black man that sees the truth and is putting the truth out there, just like Thomas Sowell. It's not going to change. And I would love, like, also, the link to these videos will be in the description, so y'all can go check it out. Go follow this young lady. She's doing phenomenal work. She's actually in 25 days on Instagram. I'm talking about from a brand new account. I think she has amassed more than 50,000 followers from starting a brand new account on Instagram in 25 days. she has amassed more than 50,000 followers. Why? Because she's simply putting the truth out there. That's it. Now you decide. Charlie Kirk said it. Oh, he's white, he's MAGA, he hates black people. Okay, fine. Larry Elder says it. He's brainwashed, he's a coon, he's a sellout, he's a bootlicker. Charlie Kirk says it. We hate him. He wants to push for Trump and he hates black people. Thomas Sowell says it. Oh, he don't know what he's talking about. Thomas Sowell grew up in the same hood that we grew up in. Yeah. Thomas Sowell didn't have his mother nor his father. His father died while he was in his mom's stomach, before he was even born. And then his mom died shortly thereafter. And he was raised by, was it his grandmother or his aunt? One of them. I'm not sure. But it was reminiscent of my own story of how I was brought into a family at the age of 3 and raised without my mother and my father. And when I say brought into a family, I'm talking about my cousin who had a 5th or 6th grade education, who already had 2 children of her own that was 1 5 and 1 7 years older than me, Donnie and Sean. And I was the 3rd mouth to feed, and she didn't have a job. And she was able to get jobs here and there, like cleaning hospitals late at night. But while she was away, we were in the hood. You know what I mean? We was going through our own things. And I'll tell you my story one day, but all I'm saying is this. As long as you believe in yourself and you apply yourself, you will go as far as the Lord will allow. As much as we paint ourselves as victims and being oppressed, then we will be just that. We will stop believing in ourselves and we will continue to blame other people for our downfall and shortcomings. But don't take my word for it. Go ahead and do your own due diligence. Thank y'all again for pulling up. I really appreciate it. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Don't forget to hit the like button and share this bad boy if you feel free. If you want to. And if you want to know anything about content creation, or you want to learn how to grow on YouTube specifically, I want you to reach out to me with the word coach, or just skip the line and get the course that's in the YouTube descriptions underneath my video. We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from 0 to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have. Trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing. We have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace.